Sit up and be normal. Please, sit up and be normal and stare at the camera for 5 seconds quietly after I finish drinking. Ben.
Welcome to Origins of Monstrosity.
Now, you'll notice we are in a new location. We changed studios, so this happens to be my bedroom, but it is a much better studio option for our channel. So, yeah.
I worked out in that studio.
Now he's using it for something. I don't even... Anyway, today we are taking a look at the Eastern State Penitentiary.
Yes. I agree.
Can you mark normal, please?
What is normal? Define normal.
Anyway. Have you been there?
I have been there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I went for Terror Behind the Walls.
Ooh, what's that? Please explain.
But we'll get to it. We'll get to it shortly.
Okay.
So the penitentiary is currently located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at 22nd Street and Fairmont Avenue.
What? Where's Philadelphia?
Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania? Pennsylville. Where all the Amish are.
Or Pennsylvania.
Whoa,
Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, that's also what it's known.
Carry on.
Okay. The website says that the, quote, Eastern State Penitentiary was once the most famous and expensive prison in the world, but today stands in ruin, a haunting world of crumbling cell blocks and empty guard towers. Its vaulted, skylit cells once held many of America's most notorious criminals, including Slick Willie Sutton and Scarface Al Capone. End quote.
Excuse me, that's definitely not the most famous prison. Alcatraz is
one of the most famous prison.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Oh no, it once was. Yeah. Back in like the 1800s, it was the most famous prison in the world. It was the most famous prison in the world.
Okay, I mean, I believe.
Okay. The penitentiary is known for its grand and Gothic architecture that was designed to be intimidating to outsiders. Eastern State was also known for its strict discipline, as it was the world's first real penitentiary. It was designed to inspire true penitence into prisoners' hearts, which is why it was called a penitentiary.
That makes sense.
It made the word, basically.
Why would they make a word when you can just get one of the
penitentiary, the inspired penitence.
But why would you make a word?
Because
it just seems like a lot of work.
It's fun.
Like you gotta go to all the dictionaries and stuff. Be like, hey man, I want to make a word.
I don't know if they actually made a word. I don't know if they made the word. I don't know. None of these things I know. They refined this solitary confinement revolution. They believed labor, solitude, and discipline equaled complete penitence. Eastern State cost $780,000 to build at the time, which is equivalent to $16,295,711.89 in 2013 dollars. It was believed to be only second to the U.S. Capitol in expense. The start of the penitentiary was in 1776.
Wait, whoa, 1776? 1776?
Yeah.
You mean the year America became independent?
Yeah.
That's a coincidence.
The start of the penitentiary was in 1776 as the Walnut Street Jail was constructed to help overcrowding at Philadelphia's Old Stone Jail.
Because of redcoats, because we just kicked out all the Brits. Yeah, we got ourselves a revolution here. We gonna beat the British, yes sir. I freaking hate British people. Hate them. Just kidding. If you're British, I probably hate you, but that's okay. She likes you, so it's okay. Love you, Dad.
Then in 1787, Benjamin Rush, a prominent doctor in Philadelphia in the 1700s,
I did a report on him,
proposed this for the penitentiary. Quote, let a large house be erected as in a convenient part of the state. Let it be divided into a number of apartments, reserving one large room for public worship. Let cells be provided for the solitary confinement of such persons as are of a refractory temper. Let the house be supplied with materials and instruments for carrying on such manufactures as can be conducted with the least instruction for carrying on such or previous knowledge. Let a garden adjoin the house, in which the culprits may occasionally work and walk. This spot will have a beneficial effect not only upon health but morals, for it will lead them to familiarity with those pure and natural objects which are calculated to renew the connection of a fallen man with his creator. Whew. Then in 1787, Rush also said, quote, let the name of this house convey an idea of its benevolent or salutary design, but let it by no means be called a prison, or by any other name that is associated with what is infamous in the opinion of mankind, end quote. Then, Are you okay?
I'm deep in thought.
Okay.
Begone, thought.
Okay. Then in 1790, a penitentiary house was built at the Walnut Street Jail with a capacity of 16 cells. Then in 1821, Pennsylvania legislature approved the funding to construct the Eastern State Penitentiary after many years of lobbying from the Philadelphia Society for alleviating the miseries of public prisons. The new prison design could hold 250 prisoners. Then on October 25th, the penitentiary opened and got its first prisoner.
Good. Just keep going.
Quote, Charles Williams, prisoner number 1, burglar, light black skin, 5 feet 7 inches tall, foot 11 inches, scar on nose, scar on thigh, broad mouth, black eyes, farmer by trade, can read, theft included one $20 watch, one $3 gold seal, one gold key, sentenced to 2 years confinement with labor, received by Samuel R. Wood, first warden, Eastern State Penitentiary, end quote.
That's actually really interesting.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Wow, that was mean.
I just said okay.
Wow, really? That's pretty condescending.
Then in 1832, there was the first escape. A prisoner who served as the warden's waiter lowered himself from the roof of the front building. He was captured and then escaped in the same manner in 1837. No comment.
That was pretty dumb of them to let him escape in the same manner. I mean, I admire the guy for thinking that would work. I didn't think it would have. It was truly a sad tale. He got caught. He went back. He didn't actually commit the crime. It's like Shawshank Redemption.
Between 1929 and 1930, Al Capone spent 8 months at the penitentiary. An article in the Philadelphia Public Ledger, published on August 20th, 1929, describes his cell, quote, the whole room was suffused in the glow of a desk lamp which stood on a polished desk. On the once-grim walls of the penal chamber hung tasteful paintings, and the strains of a waltz were being emitted by a powerful cabinet radio receiver of handsome design and fine finish, end quote. Al Capone's cell has been restored and can still be visited today. Al Capone himself has not been restored, just his cell. In 1945, Pennsylvania legislature recommended abandoning the prison after 12 inmates escaped, but they were caught within minutes. In 1958, the city of Philadelphia certifies the prison a historic property. Then in 1961, the largest riot in the Philadelphia penitentiary's history occurred. This fuels discussion to close the penitentiary. Finally, in 1965, the Eastern State Penitentiary was designated as a National Historic Landmark. 5 years later, in 1970, the penitentiary closes. But in 1980, the city of Philadelphia paid just over $400,000 to the state of Pennsylvania for Eastern State. Then the Redevelopment Authority was tasked in finding a commercial use for it. So, in 1988, the first commercial group tours began.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And then in 1991, quote, the first Halloween fundraiser takes place on Halloween night to raise money to create a daytime tour program. A few hundred people attended that first year. Since then, a Halloween fundraiser has been held at the penitentiary each fall, and attendance increased each subsequent year. Today, Terror Behind the Walls is one of the largest and most successful haunted attractions in the country. County. This is county, but... but, sorry. Terror Behind the Walls is now considered one of the top haunted houses in the country, with one of the only 3D haunted houses. It's really cool. They give you glasses and you walk through and it's like...
Man, I would have loved to be there. Kidding, I hate haunted houses. I despise them. I hate anything spooky.
I remember this one time I went to Tennessee with you and you threw a hissy fit while going into the haunted houses. It was hilarious. You cried.
Yeah, you caught me. I hate them. They're dumb. They're literally the worst thing ever
scary.
Invented. Yes, and I hate being scared. Literally, I could literally sleep in the woods forever, and I would not, and I'd be fine with it. But freaking haunted houses with the jump scares and that kind of surprising stuff, I hate.
Most of the cells had an area of 8 by 12 feet with a height of 10 feet and included hot water, heating, plumbing, a water tap, and a toilet.
That's nicer than my room.
During the time period when all the cells were solitary, the prisoners also had individual exercise yards that were the same size as their cell.
It's literally luxury.
These individual exercise yards were ended at the same time as the solitary cells. But cell block 13 was the punishment block, referred to as the hole. These solitary blocks were 4 feet by 8 feet, and they were not tall enough for the prisoners to fully stand up. The guards would crank the heat and make it boiling hot, so the prisoners were hot and miserable. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. Inmates were in the hole for up to a month. I was there. I can imagine spending a month on that thing. I would have cried. I would have died. I would have died.
Hi, look, you threw a hissy fit. You would have cried. Wimp. Anyway.
When prisoners were outside their cells, the head wore hoods over their heads to prevent communication with each other. The guards also made them wear hoods to ensure the prisoners didn't know the layout of the prison, which helped prevent escape attempts. Inmates were not allowed to receive letters, visit family members, or have newspapers. This was to ensure they had a complete disconnect from the outside world. Now, the penitentiary had some of the worst punishments, including the iron gag. Any guess what that is?
So I assume it's a iron ball that uses a gag.
Not exactly. The gag would rip the tongue and mouth of the prisoner, and there is one recorded case where a prisoner died as a result of the iron gag. Another punishment was the mad chair, where prisoners were bound to a chair so tightly that circulation was cut off, and it sometimes resulted in amputation. There were over 1,000 entries in the death ledger, which recorded every single death in the prison. Now, the penitentiary was controversial while it was running. French aristocrat Alexis de Tocqueville, I don't know how to say this word. Excuse me.
I speak French. Let me see.
No, Ben, you don't speak French. You tried this last time. It sucked.
No, I do speak French.
Visited the penitentiary and wrote back to the French government. Visited the penitentiary and wrote back to the French government that, quote, thrown into solitude, the prisoner reflects. Placed alone in view of his crime, he learns to hate it. And if his soul be not yet speak.
It's okay. You can do
word.
This. Just
I'm just gonna say word here because I can't say it. I'm having issues.
What is it?
Please say.
Surfeited.
Surfeited. I think it's surfeited.
Surfeited with crime.
With crime, and thus have lost all taste for anything better. It is in solitude where remorse will come to assail him. Can there be a combination more powerful for reformation than that of a prison which hands over the prisoner to all the trials of solitude, leads him through reflection to remorse, through religion to hope, makes him industrious by the burden of idleness, end quote. Then in 1842, Charles Dickens visited the prison and disliked it, writing, in its intention, I am well convinced that it is kind, humane, and meant for reformation. But I am persuaded that those who design this system of prison discipline and those benevolent gentlemen who carry it into execution do not know what it is they are doing, end quote. Dickens also wrote, I hold this slow and daily tampering with the mysteries of the brain to be immeasurably worse than any torture of the body. And because its ghastly signs and tokens are not so palpable to the eye, and it extorts few cries that human ears can hear, therefore I the more denounce it, as a secret punishment in which slumbering humanity is not roused up to stay. He added that the system was rigid, cruel, and hopeless solitary confinement, and I believe it in its effects to be cruel and wrong, end quote. A notable inmate was Pep the cat-murdering dog.
Woof, woof.
According to folklore, Pennsylvania Governor Gifford Pinchot uses executive powers to sentence a black lab to life without parole to be served at Eastern State in 1924. The reason was that Pep had killed Pinchot's wife's cat. Pinchot ever claimed that the dog was to be a prisoner's mascot. But most people believe he was an inmate, and it said he was an inmate. But whatever the reason, Pep was treated as an official prisoner. Inmate C2559 even has a mugshot. You want to look at it? I'm going to show it. You don't need to do this.
Yay. That made my day. Thank you. Well, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you. I'll see you in this next video.
Yes.
Remember to like and subscribe, and to comment, and to follow us on Patreon.
We don't have a Patreon. Or that.
Or
Tumblr.
4chan.
We have Instagram and Twitter, and that's it. Yes, like and comment if you enjoyed, or if you have any questions or suggestions. And subscribe if you want to see more videos, and press the bell if you want to have notifications of our videos. Thank you guys so much. Sayonara.